Because having a lot of money gives you the illusion that you can actually own everything and everybody, and because spending a few $1,000s on odd things is not going to have a significant impact on their bank accounts, millionaires do not always use their fortune in the same way that the majority of us would. Today in this video, we're going to let you know about a few of them. Because of their enormous contract and the lucrative endorsement deals that they secure, NBA players are among the wealthiest athletes in the history of sports. As a result, it is only reasonable that they have a buck or two that they may throw away on unconventional purchases. Throughout the course of basketball's history, there have been a few players who have achieved notoriety not only for their play on their court, but also for the bizarre purchases they make when they are not competing. Lateral sprawl, yacht. The acquisition of a yacht is not an unusual thing to do in and of itself, yet it became one of Lateral Sproul's most unfortunate decisions after the forward made the choice to retire from the league since the multi-million-dollar deal he got wasn't enough to feed his family. After spending $1.5 million on the yacht, it was eventually sold at an auction and he suffered significant financial losses as a result. In addition, one of his homes went into foreclosure around this time. Jarrett Jack, shoes. To reiterate, owning a shoe collection is not anything you should feel embarrassed about, and the thought of having hundreds of various pairs of sneakers is something that all of us share. Even yet, Jarrett Jack's collection appears to be excessive, as the point guard is said to have around 1,500 different footwear in his possession at any given time. That amounts to around 2,000 cubic feet of closet space that is devoted entirely to his sneakers. David Lee was seen praising with his old partners at a party. The way that David Lee took his brilliant State Fighters partners to Las Vegas for several days to praise their NBA title is somewhat bizarre, thinking about that he had quite recently been exchanged to the Boston Celtics at that point. Anyway, taking your young men for a night out at the bar isn't something that would be considered odd, particularly considering the way that you just finished a 40-year title dry spell. Carmelo Anthony, a camel. Carmelo Anthony went as far as possible and gotten himself a camel in 2011. While Mike Tyson is known for his tigers and other NFL players gloat about their crocodiles. Don't know whether he rides it on the other hand, on the off chance that he simply has it, since he has sufficient the means to deal with it whether or not he rides it. Regardless of this, given how much of the time they poop, we truly question that he is answerable for most of the prepping.
Oh, Bridges knocked it away. Monk got it back, kicks it out. Anthony hits the three.
It's been a scene between the lines.
Deshaun Stevenson, an automated teller machine. Deshaun Stevenson posted a picture to his Twitter account showing an automated teller machine, ATM, that had been installed in his living room. When asked about it, he responded by saying that he enjoyed doing things that aren't typical and that it was cool to have an ATM. That being said, we will give him credit for being fairly forthright about it. In addition, sources claim that he actually refilled it several times with more than $20,000 each time. Marquis Daniels, chain. Marquis Daniels isn't too perceived for his abilities as a ball player as he is for the exceptional chain that he showed in 2010. Purchasing gems is certainly not something surprising to do anyway, in the event that you develop a copy of your head out of 14-karat gold with cognac precious stones, that you will be all the rage. Gilbert Fields, Shark Tank. Gilbert Fields' prime was fairly short and could be portrayed as a profound roller coaster. However, he made it a highlight to collect as much consideration as possible all through his profession. The questionable point monitor once bought a chateau that cost him $3.5 million. He later added a Shark Tank to the home, which expanded his month-to-month costs to over $6,500 until he pursued the choice to sell the house in 2012. Eddie Curry, Bills. When it comes to budgeting and putting money away, Eddie Curry has to be one of the worst persons on the face of the planet. Not to mention the fact that he previously took out a loan in a Las Vegas casino for almost $600,000 at an interest rate of 85%. This individual spent more than $1,000 per month on cable, paid more than $6,000 per month to his personal chef, and more than $17,000 for his gifts to his family and friends. Scottie Pippen, a fly. Yet again, buying a stream isn't extremely crazy in the event that you're a mogul. Buy what Scottie Pippen did. When he bought a plane for $4 million that didn't work is a terrible move. When he bought a plane for $4 million that didn't work is only a terrible move, most definitely. Pippen was needed to pay an extra $1 million to make endeavors at fixing the plane. However, the airplane couldn't take off from the runway. Shaquille O'Neal doing his best Superman impression. Despite the fact that Shaquille O'Neal is known all through the association for being perhaps of the best financial backer in the b-ball world, he has burned through a lot of cash on Superman memorabilia and clothing. For instance, he spent north of $40,000 just to place the logo on the barbecue of one of his SUVs, and he spent more than $15,000 on a bed that was themed after Superman. Danny Granger, Batcave. There was no mistake there at all. Danny Granger is responsible for the construction of his very own Batcave. When questioned about it, he responded by saying, "Actually, the builder called me and told me he found a nice little feature. A lift for my car, kind of like what Batman had. It's in the works, but the process is still ongoing. We've been involved in a lot of big things, and this is only one of them. We love Superman, we love Batman. It's exactly how we've always been. It never changed." The bed that Al Jefferson used. Why is it considered strange to buy a bed? We mean, who doesn't need a place to lay their head? Even so, Al Jefferson went a little too far when he purchased his, as evidenced by the fact that he paid almost $23,000 on a bed that was 12 feet by 10 feet. We understand it, NBA players. You're bigger than the majority of us, and some beds aren't going to be able to accommodate you. However, that's not an excuse for doing something so absurd. Kobe Bryant, Cristal. Because Kobe Bryant is one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet, the news that he actually purchased 15 bottles of Cristal at a cost of $1,400 each bottle shouldn't come as much of a surprise. This is because poker player Antonio Esfandiari had already purchased a couple of bottles. Even stranger, he left the club without so much as taking a taste from any of the bottles, adding to the already peculiar circumstances. Allen Iverson, jewelry. Allen Iverson had a significant impact on the culture of basketball, both on and off the court. As a result of his influence, the league was compelled to institute a dress code in order to prevent players from seeming to be poor role models for younger players. Iverson was also known for his taste in jewelry, and according to multiple reports, the shooting guard who is struggling financially has spent millions of dollars on rocks that he can no longer afford. Furthermore, Iverson was always renowned for his taste in jewelry. Miami Heat bar tab. The majority of the time, when you get together with your close friends to celebrate things go out of hand and we wind up spending a lot more money than we ought to have. However, things might get even crazier if you're celebrating the fact that you won the NBA championship at the same time. When LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, along with the rest of the Miami Heat players, went up to celebrate the first of their 2 championships, they ended up spending more than $200,000 in a single night. That is quite a bit above what is reasonable. Finally, our tour of the strange things NBA players buy has come to an end. These athletes have some extremely interesting tastes when it comes to how they spend their money, from the dogs they keep to the automobiles they drive. As we've seen, NBA players' extravagant expenditures are a reflection of their unique personalities and the remarkable circumstances into which they've been thrust by their meteoric rise to fame and wealth. It's a demonstration of the perks and advantages of reaching the pinnacle of the basketball world.